Hey there, sorry I've been a bit MIA this week. I had a craft show today and was busy getting things ready for that. I've got this last unboxing to share with you, and then we are going to go ahead and jump back into some card making. So without further ado, here is the unboxing of the EasyPress. Hey guys, I am back with the unboxing of my Cricut EasyPress. This is actually the EasyPress 2. These are also on sale. The sale on Cricut right now for Easter is site-wide. Again, I'm not sure how long that will last, but as of right now, it is up. I've been looking at this for a while. One of my friends has one, and she does a lot of iron-on t-shirts and things like that. So I have used my iron in the past whenever I've done onesies or things like that, but I thought that this would be a good investment as I do like to do these kind of things for craft shows, and it seems that this is very easy. Rather than having to move my iron around several different spots, this is going to cover the entire thing of what I want to do. So I bought the medium size. This measures 6 by 7. They do have a smaller one which is more specifically for onesies, and then they have a larger one for t-shirts. I decided that since I wanted to do probably a little bit of both, that I would go in the middle, and hopefully that would cover the majority of what I wanted to do. So I did purchase this as well as the mat to match it, and let's go ahead and unbox it. Instruction packet. And the press. Very thick cord. Okay, so from my understanding, this is the base, and when you have it turned on, you can easily, actually, I might have gotten the smallest one. From what I understand, when you have it turned on, this base will keep it cool so that you can sit it on pretty much any surface. Here is the machine. Yeah, I actually think I did get the smallest one because I was going to be doing mostly onesies now that I'm looking at it. Which is fine because, like I said, I'm going to be doing mostly onesies. Okay. So that is a very, very, very thick cord. I love the mint color. Isn't that just beautiful? Okay. So this is the plate, and then on the top here you have your power button. You can set your temperature, you can set a timer that'll remind you when to move it. Of course, this is to move your timer and your temperature up and down, and then the Cricut button here starts the timer to count down for you, and it will chirp when it's finished. And then you just let it cradle right here into, sorry, it just cradles right here into the stand to make sure that your working surface does not get burnt. Okay, and then to go along with it, I also purchased this EasyPress mat. So this is where I went the next size up. I did get the 12 by 12 in this because I thought it would give me a little bit more leeway in using this. I had a little bit of some extra space. And this is, let's see, so it's got a cover, then a spot for moisture, a heat reflector, an insulator, and a protective barrier along the bottom. So this side down, and then you will lay out whatever you're working on and put your press down. Okay, So I'm going to get this plugged in, and I'm going to get my other cameras started, and then we will go ahead and make a couple of onesies. Hey guys, so I was just opening up this little packet and wanted to show you it includes an instruction booklet, a quick get started guide, and a really cute little cutout Cricut. So you could put that on a t-shirt, or I guess you could even put it on this if you wanted to, but I thought that was a really nice little thing that they included, and I'm sure they probably used a Cricut to cut it out. Alright, I'll be right back once I get everything plugged in. Okay, so I'm going to try and do this at my work table. I'm a little nervous about heat getting to my mat underneath, but since I have this mat that's specially made for this, and it does have the base that's supposed to keep it cool, I'm going to give it a try. If it's an issue, I may have to move or try and take off this mat, but I have my camera on top of the mat, so that starts to make things a little bit difficult. So let's see, how this goes for now. So with the press, I'm going to keep this off to the side because I've got my computer and the press and this, and I'm trying to do it all in one spot. Okay, so when you turn this on, you hit the power button. It's going to start heating up. And then to change the temperature, you just tap the temperature button, and you can move it up or down depending on where you would like it to be. I am doing a cotton poly blend, so I want mine at 315. And it's saying that the duration should be 30 seconds. I have just gone ahead and looked up online what the best settings are to use. So I will see how this goes, and then I can adjust from there. I'm going to be using a Gerber cotton onesie. So that is what I found to be the correct setting. So you see this button is red. While it's heating up, it's going to be this red color, and then once it's to where you want it, it'll turn green, and you can hit that button to start your timer. You can switch between Fahrenheit and Celsius. You can hold this down, and it'll change to Celsius. Hold it down, and it'll change back to Fahrenheit. There you see it made that little chirp, and the green light came on, so I know it's now ready to use. And then you can also change the timer, so you just hit the timer, and then you can go up in increments of 1. But I need mine to be at 30, so I'm happy with where that's set. So I'm going to take this. The base is a little warm, but it is not by any means hot. So I'm just going to move this over, but you do want to be careful because that plate it's going to be hot. So don't touch the bottom of it. Okay, I'm going to move this out of the way real quick and get my mat and everything ready to trim out the iron-on. And actually, I think I'm going to turn this off for the moment while I'm doing that, because it's going to take me longer than I think it is. So I'm going to get my filming started on my computer, and I'll take you through the whole process for the cutting, the weeding, the ironing on, and everything. So we're just going to do a fairly simple one, but just 1 second, and I'm going to get all this set up, and then we will hop over there. Okay, so we're all recording. I'm going to grab my 12 by 12 light grip mat, because I know that's what I'm going to be using. And then I'm going to go over here to Design Space. So this is home. Just going to click on home. And this takes you to, you can see the projects that I've done previously. There are a couple different ones that I think I'm going to do today. I've got 2. I'm going to show you how to do just a plain all-in-one color, and then we'll do one where it's multicolored. So I'm going to go to Iron On, and there are tons. So you can see, you go down through, there's all kinds of different projects. You can search for projects. I'm going to just scroll over. I think the one that I want is still on the front page. Yeah, this one. This Just One More Story. So cute. Okay, so because I do not have the subscription, I'm going to have to pay for this, which is fine because I'm going to use it. It's 99 cents, incredibly reasonable. I do have a new machine, but because I already have a Cricut account and I've already had access, it's not going to be free to me. The point of giving you 2 weeks free is so that you can see what's in there. I know what's in there. I've used it tons of time, and I'm fine with that. So I will just go ahead and purchase this one. But here I'm just going to give you a quick look through. So that is what it looks like, and then it gives you a description, the finished size, which you can adjust as well if you need to, what materials you need if you're making the exact same thing. And then it gives you instructions, how to prep for your project, what to cut, how to assemble, and then additional things, you know, if you want some more tips that you can read. So if you, it's going to take you away from this page. So if you think you're going to forget something, or you might, you know, want to just have the instructions in front of you, you can click the print button. I've done this a million times, so I know pretty much what I'm doing. With a quick refresher, I'm good to go. So I'm going to click make it, and it's going to take it right into the cutting area. So this is what the mat is going to look like. Now I want to make sure that I'm okay with that size. So I'm doing a 12-month onesie. So I'm just going to take my ruler, and this is what I would do, you know, with any design that I'm doing. So I can look at the mat here on the screen, and I can see that it is just about 5 inches across and 5 inches down. So 5 by 5. So I'm kind of line that up here and see what that looks like. And I think that's perfect. I think that's going to be a perfect size. So I've got my onesie here. I'm going to place that off to the side for the moment. And then I've got my light grip mat. So I'm going to be using, as I said, Siser vinyl. I have a piece of blue here. It's a really pretty light blue. I think it's going to look really nice and just sweet and soft, sort of perfect for like a bedtime color for a little boy. As you guys know, my one of my best friends just recently had a little boy, so this of course will be gifted to her once it's done. So I'm just going to make sure I have the right size here. Perfect. Now I'm just going to trim this down because I know I need 5 by 5, and I don't want to stick this down and then have to peel it up. It just makes things a little bit more difficult. So I'm going to grab my trimmer, and I'm not going to cut at exactly 5 by 5. I'm going to give myself like another 1/8 of an inch, just so I don't have to worry. And then let me see what this is. This is what, 6. So I am going to trim this down because that is enough to cut something else out of. And I don't want to waste it. You know, materials are expensive. So I try to get as much out of what I purchase as I can. So here I've got my like 5 1/8 by 5 1/8. So I'm going to place this on my mat. Peel away this. Now, when you're doing iron-on vinyl, uh-oh, it looks like I have a cut in that. Well, that's no good. I'm not going to be able to use that piece. Darn it. Let me double check this one. I must have made a mistake on that one and forgot about it. No worries. I'll just trim this down again. 5 1/8. Okay, so I've got my 5 1/8 by 5 1/8 piece of paper here, or a piece of vinyl here. So when you're doing iron-on, this shiny side is always going to be what you place down, because you're actually going to cut backwards into the material. This portion is what's ironed, and then this top section here, it's not going to cut through this plastic coating on the top, and that's what you're going to use to position it. It's sticky, and it'll help you keep your design in place when you're ironing it. So you're going to place the shiny side down, and I'm going to place that, right up in the top corner here. Just going to line everything up and try to get it, you know, as best in the corner as you can. But you don't have to be crazy perfect with it, because Cricut always does give you about, you know, 1/8 of an inch or so of leeway. It's not going to start cutting right at either one of these lines. So you want to make sure there's no bubbles. This is a small piece, so I don't have any trouble with any bubbles here, but I am just going to go around the edges and make sure that's down nice and tight. Okay, now I'm going to go over to my cutting on my screen and the view of my cutting mat. And it's really important when you're doing iron-on that you do a mirror image. So you're going to click this here and it's going to flip it. And the reason you're doing that is because you're cutting it upside down. The part that's cutting here is going to be flipped this way onto your project when you're ironing it on. So you want to be cutting it with a mirror image. Okay, and now I'm going to click, purchase. Now that my order has been successful, I'm going to hit continue. It's going to read to find my machine. I'm going to set the material. So I'm doing iron-on. So I'm going to click here. And that's going to automatically set how deep my blade is going to cut in, and that way it'll make sure it only cuts the vinyl and not that bottom clear sheet. You'll understand that a little better in a minute when you see me take the excess off the sheet. Okay, so there it even is showing you up here. Make sure mirror is turned on and iron-on material is face shiny side down on the mat. So you've always got that extra reminder, which is wonderful of them to do. Okay, so my fine point blade is already in clamp B, and note it is telling you nothing in clamp A, and put the blade in clamp B to make sure that you've got everything where it's supposed to be. So I'm going to place this in under my guides, just up next to the rollers, and hit the load button. And then I will go ahead and hit go. Okay, I'm going to hit unload. Bring my mat back over to my table. And there, I'm going to hold that at an angle and hopefully you can see where it has cut. And I'm going to remove this the same way that I do with the paper. So I'm just going to fold this until I get it edge started. And I'm going to peel the mat off of the material. Okay. And right away, I'm going to grab this and place my cover down on top. I will also go ahead and grab my Sharpie and just mark this on the bottom so that I know that I have used it once. Okay, so let's get that out of the way. And I'm going to grab my weeding tool. So now you're going to go back to the back, here's the front, and you're going to weed away everything that is not part of your design. So this comes in their sort of standard toolkit. I don't know if you can buy it by itself or not. It came with the pack that I got this in and a couple of other things. So I'm just going to go to the corner and try and hook this It's not always super easy to get started, but I want to hook the edge here, and you're not really worried about messing up anything or tearing at the edge because you want to get rid of that anyways. It's not part of your design. So I'm gonna get this started. I'm gonna hold down the plastic part and start peeling. Now, you do want to be careful when you start to peel around your design because you don't want to accidentally peel your design up. It cuts really well, but it's not always perfect. This should be fine because it's a brand new blade, but you do just want to be careful. So you'll see that your design will start to appear as you peel away the negative image. And you just want to go slow with this. You don't want to tear anything, just slowly work it off. If it gets to be too much to work with, you can always cut it. You feel like this is small enough that I'm not going to need to do that. And when you get to something like this where you need to go back up, I just kind of lift and peel out like that. I'm just going to finish this side and then I'll come around the other way. Again, it's okay that that tears. It's going to make it a little easier for me to work with. To pull up now to get that out. So that's going to be your excess. That's unusable. So now you know why I trimmed that down, because I didn't want to have you know, too much more excess than I absolutely had to have. You especially want to be careful when you're doing this if you have something that has an eye in it, because the dot of the eye can get stuck. Luckily, I don't have to worry about this here. So now I have all the insides of the letters that have loops. So what I'm going to do is just drag right along the edge there, and I'll continue to weed out the excess. I find that it's easier if you can get to a point and just grab it there, but just be careful. Take your time. Okay, so that should do it, and now I'm just going to flip this over, and there you can see our design. Just one more story. All right, so I'm going to set that off to the side, get as much out of my way as I can. I'm going to go ahead and pull out this pressing pad. I'm going to start my Cricut, or my heat press, and it should, I believe, stay to the settings that I had placed it at before. I think. While that's heating up, I'm gonna grab my little onesie here. Okay, so it looks like it's set at 300, and I think that what I had seen that I needed was 315. So I'm going to hit the temp button, there we go, and move that to 315. It looks like it remembered that when I hit the temperature button, and it did take me back to the last one. And I've got the green Cricut, and if you could hear, it did the little chirp, so I know that I've got the temperature that I need. So the first thing that you're going to do is heat up whatever it is that you are going to place your iron on. Wow, that is really nice. Okay, I'm not so worried about the side seams there. I just want to make sure that this is somewhat even and flat. Okay, and now I'm going to take my design and place that down. And I think that looks pretty straight. Give me 1 second, I'm going to go get an ironing protective cloth. Okay, so you could use a tea towel to protect the top of it, but I have this cloth that I picked up from Joann's forever ago. So I'm just going to make sure that looks nice and straight. I'm going to place down this protective cloth. It's just so that your fabric doesn't burn depending on the heat. I'm going to place down the Cricut right on top, and I will hit the green button. And I'm just going to keep not a lot of pressure, but I'm just kind of a firm pressure. I'm not really pressing down by any means. I'm just sort of giving it a little bit of weight. Okay, so I'm going to move that, and it should be all set down. Now, we're going to peel away the backing. Because this is Siser vinyl, I know that I can pull it away when it's still hot. I believe that Cricut vinyl, you have to let it cool. So just make sure that whatever you're working with, you read the instructions of what it tells you. So I'm going to carefully peel this away. Wow, that is so much faster than with a regular iron. That is amazing. Wow, just wow. Okay, I want to make sure. Okay, so they're actually saying that you should heat it from the back again, and I probably should have done that before I removed this. So I'm just going to stick this down just because it's going to protect it. So I'm going to flip it over. And I am going to go ahead and put down my protective cloth again, just, you know, to be extra sure. I'm going to stick that down, and I'll press the button again. So I really should have done this before I pulled off the front, but you can see that it was, nothing started to come up. All of those thin edges were perfectly stuck down. Again, I'm not adding a lot of pressure on this. I'm just adding a little bit of weight with my hands. I love the timer on this too. When I was watching other reviews, I sort of thought, I don't know, I could just count that myself, but that is really handy to have. Okay, pull that away. Flip this guy over. And now I will peel this away again. Wow, that is just awesome. I mean, that's perfect and so cute. I just love it. The sky is the limit with what you can come up with this Cricut. Okay, because I am just super paranoid, if I could find my this side up, I'd know where I was supposed to be here. I'm gonna do this one more time now that I've taken this off. I don't know that this is really necessary, but it's probably overkill, but I just want to make doubly sure that it is down, because it seems almost too good to be true. Okay. All right. And I feel confident with that. I feel good. So this is, again, you're going to have to check your directions with whatever vinyl that you decide to use. But the Siser vinyl is totally washable. I tell people just to turn it inside out when they stick it in the dryer, which is exactly what I do when I'm doing any type of t-shirt like this, where even if I've bought it, I know it's probably an iron-on if it's not screen printed. So I just always make sure to turn those inside out whenever I wash them, and I would do the same thing with this one. So we have now hit the 30-minute mark, and I've decided I'm going to split this video into 2 parts. For part 2, I'll create another onesie, this time using 2 different colors in the design. It really is the same process, you just add the colors in layers, but I know things can be tricky the first time you try them, so I wanted to walk those of you who are interested in that through it step by step. As always, if you have any questions, let me know below, and I'll do my best to answer them for you, and I will be back with part 2 very soon.